Namaste children. This is Jyoti Devgan from the Social Science Department and I welcome you to the second part of the chapter Devotional Paths to the Divine. A divine chapter indeed. Now, carrying forward the chapter, we come up to the Nathpanthis, Siddhas and Yogis. Now, who were they basically? A number of religious groups that came up or emerged during this period. They criticized the rituals and other aspects of the old kind of traditional worship and the social order of dividing people into casteism. They used simple and logical arguments. Among them were these important Nathpanthis, Siddhas, and Yogis. Now, Yogis basically believed in training of mind and body through yoga exercises, breathing exercises, and meditation, especially among the lowest caste of people. Now switching over to Islam and Sufism. Islam basically propagated monotheism. Monotheism means submission to one God. It also rejected idol worship. No Murti Puja in Islam. The Muslim scholars, they developed a holy law called the Shariat. The Sufis rejected the elaborate codes of behavior demanded by the Muslim religious scholars. The Sufis did not even appreciate the Muslims. They did not like the detailed Shariat, the way they used to bend down to God. They sought unison with God, means being one with the Supreme God. As a lover seeks his beloved with a disregard for the world, when you fall in love with Almighty, then you are not bothered about what the people are going to say about you. You will only follow the path of Lord. Among the great Sufis of Central Asia were Ghazali, Rumi, and Sadi. Sufism also introduced the popular ideas or the orders which were called silsilas, of which the most widespread was the Shariat and the Chishti silsilas. The Chishti silsilas was among the most influential orders, means parts. A long line of teachers included Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer, Kutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki of Delhi, Baba Farid of Punjab, Khwaja Nizamuddin Aulia of Delhi, and Banda Nawaz of Gulbarg. Now switching over to the new religious developments in northern India during the 13th century. The period after the 13th century saw a new wave of bhakti movement in northern India. This wave, led by scholars like Tulsidas, Surdas, Sant Kabir, and Baba Guru Nanak. This tradition also included saints like Dadu Dayal, Ravidas, and Mirabai. Mirabai was devoted, rather, she was an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. A unique feature of most of these saints is that their works were composed in regional languages and could easily be sung, meaning that they whatever they preached, whatever they sung in the praise of Lord was all done in the colloquial language, the local language, which was easy to be followed. Now, talking about Sant Kabir. Kabir, who probably lived in the 15th or the 16th centuries, was one of the most influential saints. He was brought up in a family of Muslim Julahas, meaning the weavers, who lived near the city of Benares. We have very less reliable information about his life. We get to know about his ideas from a vast collection which are called Sakhis and Pads, said to have been composed or made by Sant Kabir. We still have them as a part of Hindi in our syllabus as well. Now, some of these Sakhis were also taken up later and collected and preserved in the Guru Granth Sahib, Panchvani, and Bijak. Kabir's teachings were based on a complete, indeed vehement rejections of the major traditions and customs that had been followed by Hindus. The language of his poetry was a form of spoken Hindi widely understood by the common people, the ordinary people. He also believed in a formless supreme God. He said God is one, and he preached that the only path of salvation was through bhakti or devotion. Kabir drew his followers from among both Hindus as well as Muslims. Now, taking a closer look at Baba Guru Nanak, in other words, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. We know more about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He was born in 1469 at Talwandi, that is Nankana Sahib, in Pakistan. He travelled widely before establishing a center at Kartarpur, that is Dera Baba Nanak, on the river Ravi. A regular worship that included the singing of his own hymns, of his own shabads, was established there for his followers. Now, irrespective of high class people, low caste people, they all sat together and Guru Nanak Dev Ji started the system of common kitchen, in other words, known as langar. The sacred space thus created by Guru Nanak Dev Ji was known as Dharamshala. We still have them. It is known as, or rather it is now known as, Gurdwaras. Before his death in 1539, Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji appointed one of his followers as his successor. After him, he decided that now so and so would be his successor. Let us see who. His name was Lehna, but he came to be known as Guru Angad Dev Ji, signifying that he was a part of Baba Guru Nanak himself. He was his Ang, a part of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Angad, he compiled the compositions of Baba Guru Nanak, to which he added his own to a new script that is known as Gurmukhi or Punjabi. The three successors of Guru Angad Dev Ji also wrote under the name of Nanak, and all of their compositions were compiled by Guru Arjan in 1604. Now, to this compilation, he also added the writings of Sheikh Farid, Sant Kabir, Bhagat Namdev, and Guru Tegh Bahadur. In 1706, this compilation was compiled by Guru Tegh Bahadur's son and successor, Guru Gobind Singh. It is now known as the Guru Granth Sahib, that is the holy scripture of the Sikhs. By the beginning of the 17th century, the town of Ramdaspur, this is the earlier name of Amritsar, had developed around the central Gurdwara known as Harmandir Sahib, which is now known as the Golden Temple. It was virtually self-governing, and the modern historians refer to the early 17th century Sikh community as a state within the state. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir, he looked down upon them as a potential threat. Now Jahangir knew that the Sikhs were united and they were a sign or indication of danger for him. He ordered the execution of Guru Arjan in 1606. The Sikh movement began to get politicized in the 17th century, a development which culminated in the institution of the Khalsa by Guru Gobind Singh Ji in 1699. The community of Sikhs, now they started to be called the Khalsa Panth. It became a political entity, meaning it became a threat to Jahangir. Baba Guru Nanak Dev Ji had a huge impact on the development from the very beginning. He emphasized, or rather he laid stress on the worship of one God. His idea of liberation was not that of a state of inert bliss, but rather pursuit of an active life with a strong sense of social commitment. He never said, leave the family and go and renounce. No, he believed living with the family and side by side performing all good things for the society. He himself used the terms Naam, Dan, Isnan. Naam is the name of God. Dan is the donation. Isnan is importance of taking a bath. for the essence of his teaching, which actually meant the right kind of worship, welfare of others, and purity of conduct. Very important, children. He believed in right karmas. We are supposed to do proper work, not trouble anyone. Always be ready to help people. His teachings are now remembered as Naam Japna, the way we take the name of God. Kirt Karna means Kirtan Karna, and Vand Chakna, which also underlines the importance of right belief and worship. He also believed in honest living and helping people. Now, like Kabir, Ravidas ji, Dadu, whose ideas were quite similar to those of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, are still remembered, and they will always be remembered as far as the religion and as far as the belief in one God is considered. That's all for today.